Hi everyone! Today I'm back with another card. I'm using the Sassy Club's Darla Loves Summer. This set actually just recently came out, and right when I got it in the mail, I had an idea and I wanted to run with it. So I'm just going to start out with stamping on a piece of white cardstock. I originally was going to stamp the entire set, but I pulled out just the images of the girls and stamped them on the cardstock. Since these are brand new, I just had to stamp them a few times. I didn't really prime them. Usually I run my finger over them so that it helps remove whatever it is on the stamp that causes the ink to pull up a little bit. So I'll just stamp and get bold images. The lines on the stamps are amazing and they're great for a quick fussy cut. So as you can see, I've already cut everything out and I just have the girls to color. A lot of the Sassy Club images are of girls and they have a larger head and hair. So a lot of the coloring is mainly their face and their hair. And their body is a little bit smaller, which makes it super cute and cartoony. And I especially love these images because I'm very partial to unicorns. And one of the images is on a unicorn floaty. So I just had to use this set immediately. The hair is the main focus of all the coloring. I'm not a great hair colorer. I use 2 to 3 colors per hair usually, and I'll do kind of like streaky lines. And I've realized that that helps with hair coloring and leaving, I guess, a highlight on the hair. It gives it a lot of dimension. And I usually will go the light color first, the dark color, the medium color, and I'll run over the entire area again with the lightest color, and it helps blend everything out. And I know that some people don't even blend and it looks amazing, but for some reason I just have to blend. I have some issues coloring hair, so I really need to work on that. But all the colors that I'm using and all the markers that I'm using will be listed down below in the description. So I'm just going ahead and finishing up all the coloring. I don't really keep a color scheme, obviously. I've colored the little girls with 4 different hair colors, and their swimsuits all end up being totally different colors. I'm not the type of person to be super matchy when it comes to cards. In real life, I like to match, but with cards, I usually just pick whatever color I feel like coloring, and I have a hard time following a color theme. And you can see this with the girls. I think one girl is in purple and one girl is in green, and there's no real color theme, but it's also summertime and they can choose to wear whatever they want. So it's just a group of friends going to the beach together. So once I finish up this coloring, the idea behind the card is just to have a beach and ocean scene. And I thought about this and how I wanted to create it. At first, I was thinking about a dimensional card, such as a pop up box, um, or even a shaker card that I've done previously using vellum, where the girls can swim in the ocean. But I decided that I'm going to do a different shaped card. So I'm finishing up the coloring of the little unicorn floaty and the additional swimsuit for the last girl. And once I finish all that coloring, I'm going to move on to my card base. I'm using a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 paper and scoring it in half. And once I fold that down, I use a Teflon bone folder to crease it, and I'm using a large circle die. I'm letting it hang off the fold of the card so that the card opens up to a partial circle. I'm also going to cut out circles out of craft cardstock and 2 circles from a light blue colored cardstock to mimic the ocean. So for the craft cardstock, I'm going to place this directly on the front of the card base. And once I adhere it to the card base, I will also trim off any excess that's hanging off of the fold. This will be the background, and this will also be the beach for the card. For the blue cardstock circles, I'm going to use Sweet Stamp Shop's wave dies to cut out two different wave patterns. One is a little bit larger and one's a little smaller. So I'm cutting one piece a little larger so I can create layers. The smaller one will be in the front. I also decided to add distress inks to the craft cardstock, and I added dots using a Copic marker just to give a sandy effect to the card and to really make it look like it's the beach. I also decided to add a little bit of ink on the edge of the waves just to give it a bit of dimension. So I'm putting this together, and that's basically how the card will look. I think the girls are large images for this card, but I just had to use all four of them and I made it work. So once I decided how I wanted to look, I'm just adhering the first wave and then adding the second wave using an ATG gun. So I'm gonna play around with the girls again. I decided that the girl in the little hat will kind of hang off of the fold, and that's okay because once you open the card, it won't be in the way or anything. So for the images that I could run through my Xyron sticker maker, I did. I wanted to run the unicorn girl through as well, but she's a little large for the sticker maker that size I have. So I'm just adding the first two girls and using my ATG gun to add adhesive to the girl on the unicorn floaty and also to add adhesive to part of the girl in the hat. Since the top hangs off the card, you don't want adhesive to be on there. So I decided also that I wanted to stamp inside the card. This is something I normally don't do, but the sentiment that's in the set is super cute, so I wanted to use it. It says, "Keep calm and float on." It's perfect for this set. So I stamp on the inside, and I also decide that I want to add a bit of distress ink using that same color I used for the waves on the edge of the card. It just kind of ties everything together, and I also wanted to use a sentiment. So I pulled out Paper Smooch's Kindness Sampler set, and I picked the sentiment, "Hey You." And this is a simple one. It's super small. It fits perfectly in that little area. And now my card is almost complete because I decide to color in those bubble letters, which are adorable. And in doing so, I realized that the Copic markers bled through to the back side. And normally this doesn't bug me, but sometimes people do get bothered by the fact that the Copics bleed. So an easy fix is just cutting out another circle from that same blue cardstock, trimming it down, and putting it on the back of the card. It's no big deal, and sometimes I know that Copics bleed through and I just don't care. But I really think that just adding that blue to the back really finishes off the card. There you have it. That's my card. You'll see that it can rock back and forth because it's in a circle, so it looks like the waves are moving. I really enjoyed making this card and using this new stamp set, and I hope you guys did too. I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye!